love a good helicopter press briefing where the background noise is is up to 11 and you can barely hear our big beautiful boy as he comes out to try and talk to reporters. Probably the most uh annoying, I think, like type of press conference that we have, to be honest. I really wish that they had a, like, maybe you could have the reporters inside or something before he comes outside. I think it would make a lot more sense personally. But this is how we decided to do it, and so we got to live with it. So anyway, I saw this just on my feed earlier. I only found a few videos this morning when I was, trying to prepare slightly for this, but I think our boy Donald Trump, it depends what cycle of his meds he's on. But he sometimes gets a little irritated, and I think that he may have gotten into a little bit of a verbal sparring match with some of these fine reporters right here. So and I think it's about Iran. So let's go ahead and watch this quick video. See how confident we are in our big beautiful boy as he negotiates with Iran. This is breaking news. Trump gaggles with reporters amid Iran talks by Forbes Breaking News.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of reports. They've been meeting for many hours, as you probably have noticed. We'll see what happens. Look, regardless, we win. Regardless what happens, we win. We've totally defeated that country. And so let's see what happens. Maybe they make a deal, maybe they don't. It doesn't matter. From the standpoint of America, we win.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they make a deal or not. You do understand the whole purpose of war is to impact political change, like in the aftermath of the war, right? Like that's the whole goal. It's not just like the goal isn't to just bomb somebody. Like, I mean, I know that might be a little bit surprising to Americans, like especially and Israelis as well, that like the goal of war is not just to bomb people, like and waste all of my tax dollars throwing it into the incinerator that they use to to drive these ships and submarines over there or whatever, right? Like that is not the goal. The goal is to impact the political realities after the war. So I think that whether these negotiations whether anything comes of them or not is actually pretty significant in terms of the outcomes of this war. But let's continue.
From the standpoint of America,
doesn't matter.
We win. One other thing that's happening is that boats are sailing up and heading out to our country. Big, beautiful tankers, and we're loading them up with oil and gas and everything else. And it's a pretty beautiful thing to see.
What about the Iran's assets in other countries?
We're going to see what happens. We're in very deep negotiations with Iran. We win regardless. We've defeated them militarily. They've dropped a couple of water mines. You call them water mines in the boat. We've defeated all of their water boats too. Their Navy has gone 158 ships. They have 28.
Did they actually though? I still don't think that they ever put any mines in the Strait of Hormuz. So I think that this might be some sort of subterfuge going on right now, because I know that we sent some ships to like clear mines or something through there. And so I if I were Iran, I would be highly skeptical of that. Like highly skeptical of those ships and what they're doing, because I am pretty sure that they didn't actually lay any mines in the strait.
Water droppers, mine droppers, they call them. All of them are sunk. They probably have a couple of mines in the water. We have minesweepers out there. We're sweeping the strait. In addition to that, we're negotiating. Whether we make a deal or not makes no difference to me.
It should make a difference to you. Like I said, that's the entire point of war, is the part that comes after the war. That's literally the entire purpose. I say all the time that America seems to be past the just general concept of like strategic planning and strategic outcomes and purely in like tactical operations 24/7. Like there's never any plans for strategic victory. It is all just tactical operation after tactical operation. And that will inevitably lead to failure.
Because we've won. Whether you listen to the fake news or not, it's amazing. Their credibility is down to 13%. The media credibility down to 13%. Think of it. We defeated their Navy. We defeated their Air Force. We defeated their Air.
I don't know where he's getting this number. Let me see if I can find what stat he's like. Media trust down to 13%. Well, I see 28%, which is still incredibly low and is, yeah. Um, oh, I see a separate 2024 Gallup analysis found that only 13% of Americans rate the honesty and ethical standards of television reporters as high or very high. So that's probably what he's talking about. But yeah, no shit, people's trust in the media is low. Like, okay, we got to analyze this from like a pretty long perspective to understand the trajectory. Like, so American media has largely been a monolith for the capitalist class, like at the very least since like the end of the Cold War, right? Um, the all of the generally worker like pro worker news magazines and like pamphlets and all that sort of stuff all got completely destroyed, and the media started to accumulate and conglomerate into these huge massive corporations that were essentially started holding water purely for the Epstein class, right? um, as that happened, people started to lose trust in media, but not that much, to be honest, like not as much as they should have. And then came Iraq, and Iraq, I think, was one of the cornerstone moments of the American populace losing trust because the media just straight up blatantly lied to them and told them that there were weapons of mass destruction and all that, garbage. Um, and people did not believe it. And or like eventually found out that it was a lie. And that put a huge mistrust in the media. And since then, people have moved in various different directions. Like the American populace has, like, a lot of people tune in to people like myself and independent news commentators to get a different perspective, one that isn't, completely bought by corporate interests. Um, some people move towards quackery and general, like, you know, misinformation peddlers and all that sort of stuff. I would say like the Alex Jones, like conspiracy theory type people, and everybody just kind of in that realm. Um, but then also you have to like that wasn't like the last event though, because the other thing that happened relatively recently is Gaza, where the entire corporate media, similar to Iraq, fell into line to protect the state of Israel, and to basically tell people to not believe their lying eyes and just like push propaganda after propaganda out to the people. And like these are like the most extreme examples, but there is an undercurrent of this with every single article that they produce, every single video they produce is all pro corporate power, right? Um, and so basically all of that has happened to completely like, and especially with Gaza is like I think the kind of finishing like final nail in the coffin of old school corporate media. Um, like really it has completely destroyed all credibility in the news, and this is not a good thing. Like because we really do like I do all of my media analysis and like news reporting and stuff based on based on a lot of these traditional news sources. Like yeah, I watch some independent journalists and stuff on here, but I try to find firsthand reporting and firsthand sources and stuff. And the more it keeps the more the conglomerates keep merging together and getting bigger and bigger, the more the Ellisons just keep buying every single possible news station and directing them to all dutifully report the greatness of the state of Israel or whatever, right? Like it's going to like become worse and worse, and it's going to be harder and harder even for me to give good information out there. I mean, I think there'll always be independent journalists that you can trust. If you look at people like Dropside or The Intercept or like Jacobin, I don't know. Like there's always going to be some uh news sources that like classic traditional news sources that you can trust. Um, but it's just going to be harder and harder to find them in the future. But anyway, that's my big long-winded rant about the current state of the news media in America, and probably why that Gallup report had 13% of Americans rate the honesty and ethical standards of the media. So there you go. That's way too much information for this 4 minute long video I'm watching, but I felt like, it's something people need to hear.
Anti-aircraft. We defeated their radar. We defeated their leaders. Their leaders are all dead. And now all we do is we'll open up the strait, even though we don't use it, because we have a lot of other countries in the world that do use it that are either afraid or weak or cheap. I don't know what it is, but we were not helped by NATO, that I can tell you.
I'd say weak is the biggest one. They are weak. They are unable to do anything. And if America can't open it, nobody can. So I would say that's probably the major reason. Afraid is a similar thing. It's also the reason being afraid is the exact same reason that we didn't try to militarily open the strait, because we knew that like all of our ships would be sunk to the bottom of the ocean with Iran's drones flying at you constantly if you tried to do it from the ocean. So you would need to do a full ground occupation if you wanted to do that, which we probably don't have the political will to do here in America anyway. So.
How do you know that? Why do you say that? Why do you say that? You don't know anything. Who are you with?
NBC News, Julie Circuit.
ABC?
NBC.
Well, let's make news.
Mr. President.
Let me just tell you, we win, no matter what. We've defeated their military. They have no navy. 158 ships are underwater, undersea. All of their minesweepers and all of their, they call them mine droppers. Can you imagine? A country has...
Dude, he always just keeps going back to the whole Navy thing. And I'm telling you, from the moment he started saying that, I'm like, nobody gave a shit about Iran's Navy. Like, it's like saying you defeated their Air Force or whatever, which they also have been claiming. It's like, yeah, Iran's Air Force was like, like 2 planes given to them in 1968 or whatever. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares about. That's not how they built their entire that's not how they built their entire attritional warfare like government around. They built it around missiles and drones. So unless you're talking about that, I really don't care, to be honest.
28
except for, like I say, all of those Navy ships that they sunk are going to be, I guess, great habitats for the fishies in Iran. They'll have a new boom of wildlife over there, assuming that all of the black smoke doesn't rain toxic oil sludge on their country for the next decade or whatever from all of the soot that we like blew up into the sky.
A country has 28 mine droppers. You think that's nice? With all of that being said, they're all defeated, by the way. They're all at the bottom of the sea. Now, with all of that, they have no navy. They have no radar. They have no air force. Their leaders are all dead. Khomeini is gone. For many years, he ruled. He's gone. With all of that...
Yeah, you'll notice all 3 of those things are things that, like, so I just talked about. The Navy, who cares? Iran was not known for their Navy. I don't think they ever planned on their Navy being a big part of their attritional victory strategy when it comes to the inevitable America, pedo machine coming to attack their land or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then the or pedo war machine, I mean. The then you then the Air Force, I already said, was like two planes from 1968. I mean, I'm exaggerating, obviously. I'm being hyperbolic, but it was nothing like that important. And then decapitation strikes. Yeah, those have worked so well in the past. Yeah, if you want to see how well that works, look at like Israel's history of doing decapitation strikes. Literally every single time. I'm not sure if you can point to a single time where a decapitation strike actually led to a strategically better position for Israel. Um, every single time they do decapitation strikes, it leads to more hardline, more you know, less willing to negotiate, what less willing to compromise, people rising to the top who yeah, just want like will want to keep on fighting. And to be honest, I think that's probably why they do it because they don't want to have any sort of like appearance of like, oh, we could negotiate or we could have diplomacy. They want to make it feel like both to their public and to the world at large that is watching them. They want it to feel like there is no possible way that they could ever negotiate for peace with any of their neighbors. Um, so that they can continue to live in a permanent state of war where they are constantly destabilizing and fighting and stealing land from all of their neighbors. I don't think it's going to work in the long run, though. Uh, but yeah, in terms of like the actual purported goals of assassination strikes and achieving strategic victory, that's never happened. So
Let's see what happens. But from my standpoint, I don't care. Thank you. Well, if China does that, China's going to have big problems, okay?
Mr. President, it's
yeah, China, I think, is feeling pretty good right about now. I think that's about it. I don't want to deal with this, audio any longer than I have to, or make you guys deal with it any longer than you have to. So, man, I probably took that one, what, like 4 minute video, 3.5 minute video, and probably made it like, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. That was crazy. I talked a lot on that one. I jibber jabbered too much. Um, okay. Well, maybe not too much. I think the algorithm does enjoy the good 10 to 15 minute long video. I'm trying to kind of hit that range with a lot of them if I can, but um not that's not me saying that I'm, intentionally blathering or whatever. I'm still trying to say only things that matter, and I'm not trying to just say things or to extend the video, people, okay? Trust me. You can trust me on that.